We are going to begin the application piece of this. I think we'll finish today on this part. And then we just have one teeny tiny little section to talk about with some review. And then we'll go into our test week, really ready to do our end of chapter problems and a practice test. The question was, how hard is this test going to be comparatively to the others? I don't know, I haven't wrote it yet. I am recording. Any other announcements you want me to say? No. Okay. Yeah, it's hiding. It's hiding. Okay. Yesterday we talked a lot about banking. And what were some of the key things that you took away from that lesson? Organized. Make sure you know how much money you have. Do your book. Stay in contact with your bank. Will the bank records always match the book records? Hardly ever. Why? Outstanding checks, outstanding deposits, time lapses. Okay. Can errors exist? Does the bank keep some secrets from us? And when do we learn about those secrets? When the bank statement arrives. What are some of the secrets? Fees, so stuff out of our account, or sometimes money pops into our account. And you're gonna see that happen today and learn how sometimes the bank is the keeper of all of the notes receivables, and then we get the money eventually. So let's first talk about outstanding checks, and then we'll get into getting our bank reconciliation to match. What was that called when our bank equals our books after we've done a reconciliation? The true balance. There we go. Okay, very good. All right, exercise 810 can be exclusively done on this little sheet. We will need the workbook to do exercise 811. Right now, what you see in front of you is the May bank statement. Please circle that or square that out. So this is the May bank statement. I know this is pretty obvious, but I want you to write bank right on top of this. And not so obvious, this is our book. Book versus bank. Let's just find one common piece. Did we write check number 258? That's us, the book. Did we write check number 258? Yep. When did we write it? What date? Actually, May 2nd, because that's the book side. Okay, this is the book side. We wrote check number 258 on May 2nd. When did it clear in the bank? Holy cow, 15 days later. Talk about a time lapse. Why do you think that time lapse existed? What are some reasons? Let's say we wrote that check to Jump Rope for Heart. Yeah, like right now on my fridge is a Jump Rope for Heart check. I dated it, gosh, a week ago already. My son's not even going to turn it in until the end of February. He's going to turn in a check that says the American Heart Association from Jenny Mars to a school. What's the school going to do with it? Route it, get it all together, and then send it off to the American Heart Association. There's another time lapse you heard. They're going to put it in the mail. Okay, so it's that gap of 15 days is, I'd say, pretty long. Usually things are happening, I'd say, 3 to 5 business days. Okay. Let's take a look at, we wrote check 259 on 5/5. When did it clear in the bank? Okay, and when I write a check, is that real money? What is a check? It's a piece of paper, a written order. Okay, what's the bank? Is it a maker, a payee, or a payer? Payer. So the maker is telling the payer to pay the payee. Okay, so you got the lingo down. Now let's work through this. What we're trying to do with this exercise is figure out which checks are outstanding, which checks are floating out there, okay? Because the book says one thing, the bank says another. Now what you need to know before we even start this is that this is all the May activity. Let's read this first statement though. On April 30th, the bank reconciliation of Westbrook Company shows 3 outstanding checks. So these 3 outstanding checks were from April. Like at the end of April, we still had 3 floaters out there. So let's first double check to see if our floaters from the previous month have cleared. Okay, we have check and write the or circle these 254, 255, and 257 were floaters from April. We know we wrote those, and that would have been our April books, but let's see if they caught up to the bank. Do you see check number 254 anywhere in this list in the bank? Okay, then cross it off. It cleared. We can even cross it off up here. How about 255? Ay, ay, ay. Why don't we see it in the book list? It's for May. Those are the April floaters up there. So you mean to tell me a whole month has gone by? We had a check floating way over in April. Another whole month has gone by, and it's still, it'd be still in last month. Yep. And then how about 257? Has that cleared? Yep. So please list it just in this bottom area. I want you to just write outstanding checks or floating checks. Number 255 is still outstanding from April. Ouch. Okay, now we can go into cross-referencing book versus bank in May. Let's start at the top of our books. We wrote check number 258. Has it cleared? Yep, so you can cross that off. We wrote check 259 on May 5th. Has that cleared? Yes. Okay. We wrote check 260. Has that cleared? Okay, let's circle those 2 and add it to our list down here. It's an outstanding check that has not cleared. We wrote it on May 10th. It's the end of May. We've got this check floating out there. That's concerning, isn't it? How about 261? Has that cleared? Yep. Has 262 cleared? Yep. How about 263? Yep. And it looks like we have one more. Now I can get this last one. Why would check number 264 possibly still be floating out there at the end of May? It's pretty recent, but we still need to list it. 264 for 560 bucks. Now, here's your alarming thing. You have $2,070 of written orders floating out there. Conceptually, do you really still have $2,070 in your account? Yeah, you do. But from an accounting standpoint, from a bookkeeping standpoint, do you have that 2070? No. Here is where people get into trouble. They're like, oh, well, these 3 checks are, I know that that's 264. That's not going to clear anytime soon. Yes, Coral. The bank doesn't even know about these. Yeah. The bank is going to say you have 2070 more in your account than you do. But if you're keeping diligent records, you're going to know that this is real. The bank has no idea about this. And when it comes time for a bank statement to be sent, which you're going to see in a minute, they're going to say you have $2,070 more than you do. So that's where people get into trouble. And that's why cross-referencing this kind of stuff is really, really important. Now, what would I do if this were my account? I get that this just happened. I just wrote 264, but you know what I'd probably do on that 255 and 260? I'd call those people. You know, I noticed that you haven't cashed my check from way back in April. Have you lost it? Do we need to take action on this? Would it help to call the bank on that? No, because they don't even know that you wrote check 255. It would be more important to call the person that you wrote the check to. And then if they say, gosh, I deposited that a long time ago, then you start working with each other's banks to try to find this missing check. Yes. Yes, 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 absolutely. Good question. You'll see this kind of stuff on the test. I will tell you where people get into trouble on the test. They don't take into account the floaters from the previous month. You always want to start there. Okay, at the time of the last bank statement, there were 3 outstanding checks. Have they cleared yet? Let's start there. And then you go through and start cross-referencing. This will be a problem on the test. Something similar. Pretty easy though. This will be like the answer that I'm looking for. Yep. What are the itemized list, and then what's your total of? It'll give you like the little paragraph of here's what was still outstanding before these were even set. Yep. Good questions that are being asked though, because the bank doesn't know about these. That's what the next step is all about. Again, this is a snippet taken from your workbook or textbook so you can write on it. Okay. The following information pertains to Crane Video Company. In number 1, that's the bank balance. In number 3, that's the book balance. Do the numbers match? What? I must not be a very good accountant. I must not be keeping my records very diligently. You're fired. That's not true. We now know that bank and book will rarely match because each of us have secrets. The bank has secrets that they haven't told us about, and we have secrets. We have wrote checks, made deposits that maybe the bank doesn't know about because of time lapse. Okay, so we need to start working through this to get them to equal. The goal here is that these two will equal eventually. That's the goal. Down to the cent. Not just, sweet, we got it within a buck, we're good. No. Although we're looking at this from a business perspective, Crane Video Company, the same rules apply in your own life personally, okay? So what I want you to do down here, and you're gonna see some numbers and that's not the end of the world. Do you have the 3-part heading on there? Okay, on line 1, write what you see, cash balance per bank statement. If you wrote bank, if you just wrote bank there, would I get real up in your grill? No, probably not. But I mean, if you can learn banks or cash balance per bank statement, that would be good. Okay, now go down to line 7. So here's line 1, here's line 7. Don't write all that other stuff on there. But on line 7, write cash balance per books. We're going to do all that other stuff in a minute. Just go down to line 7 and write cash balance per books. And then on line 7 out here, you can plug in. Here's the 2 numbers from the stuff on the top. Again, don't write all the other numbers. Okay, so we've really done line 1 and we've really done line 3. Feel free to cross those lines off, just because you know you've taken care of them. Find that worksheet from yesterday where it was that big like rainbow looking thing. It's this one. Garner, will you look on with a neighbor? I have one set, you guys. I'll get them printed though for you. Here's another set. Do you have a set, Garner? Or you're just looking at blanks? Okay. This is a list of, okay, we've got these 2 camps. We've got the bank camp and the book camp. Each of them have secrets, and what we need to do is reveal those secrets to the opposing camp. Make sense? We're going to start with the bank. According to that little handout that you have, what do we need to update the bank with? There's some pluses and there's some minuses. Well, that's the books. We need to look at the bank. We're looking at the bank. What do we need to tell them from our book camp? What are the book camp secrets? Plus outstanding deposits minus outstanding checks. Do you see where you should be looking? Okay, because we're in the bank camp. We need to let them know the book secrets. Look up here in your list. Do we have any deposits in transit? Number 4. So I'm going to change pen colors. That is a book secret. The bank didn't know about it, so here is where we're telling the book secrets. What's another book secret in the list? What does the book know that the bank doesn't? Number 6, an outstanding check. So we have another book secret. So what we're doing down here is sharing secrets. The bank knows one thing, that we have $7,263. That's not the whole story because the book has these 2 secrets. So what we're going to do on line 2 is add any deposits in transit. You wouldn't have to update that. I'm okay with. I want you to put a plus 1,300 over there though. What's the other secret? I can cross number 4 off. We just did that one. What's the other secret that we know but the bank doesn't? So is that line 3? Well, I know I did. I skipped a line, but that's okay. Less outstanding checks. What if we had many of them? You could add them all up, or you could like itemize them underneath. No, because it's the same number. Equals the adjusted cash balance per the bank. Now we're going to mark this up a little bit more. Do you think that's the number we're shooting for on the other camp? Yes. These two items are the book secrets. We're talking bank, but now we're telling secrets. By the way, there's a deposit that you don't know about, and by the way, I wrote a check that you don't know about either. So we're in the book camp telling, or the bank camp telling the book secrets. Are we done with secrets? Sort of. So you're going to have a little space there, and that's okay. Go down to your line 7. Okay, now we're moving over to the book camp. Does the bank have some secrets? More than we did. Line 2 is a bank secret. And line 5 is also another bank secret. Can you tell we always start with add and then we subtract? Take a look at this. I'm going to read it here instead. The bank collected a $700 note for Crane in July, plus interest of $36, less a $20 collection fee. It has not been recorded by Crane and no interest has been accrued. So here's the scoop. Some receivable we didn't feel like dealing with. So we told them, you know what? You don't seem to be paying us very well. We're going to turn this into a loan and we're going to let our bank take care of it. You're not going to pay us, you're going to pay our bank. And then the bank's going to pay us. Don't you think people get a little bit more intimidated by a bank, owing money to a bank, than a business? Sure. Okay. So we're like, we're done with you. You're not paying us. We're going to say, let's turn you into a loan and we're going to let our bank deal with it. We're still going to get the money from the bank. It's just that they're going to be kind of the grim reaper, so to speak, of getting this loan recovered for us. Now, why is it 716? Well, they apparently owed us $700 in a loan. Who's they? The bank? No. This customer that wasn't paying their bill. We earned some interest on that, $36, but you know what? The bank's going to say, we're not going to do all your dirty work. We're going to charge you $20 book for handling all of this for you. So they're going to take a small cut, and rightfully so. So that's where you get the 716. So why is that the bank's secret? We're not dealing with this AR anymore. We turned into a notes receivable. The bank's handling all of it for a tune of $20. They got the money from this notes receivable, and now they're putting it back into our account and adding some interest. But what are they doing to take a little cut? They're charging a fee. What's their other secret? What's their other little secret? We've done number 6 now. What's the other secret according to what we listed up there? They charged another service charge. What the heck? For what? July bank service charge not recorded by the depositor. So you know what? They can charge us whenever, whatever. They usually tell us ahead of time that, you know, you're going to have a $28 fee every month, or every 3 months, or once a year. For what? Maybe you have to pay for your checking account. Maybe you have to pay for checks. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of different ways banks charge you. But we wouldn't know about it. That was their secret until the bank statement comes. And then all of a sudden, this happens. We have reconciled our bank and Think about when you reconcile differences with someone. Maybe you and mom got in a little tiff, or maybe you and one of your friends got in a little tiff. What do? You reconcile your differences. Same thing. That's why it's called a reconciliation. You're reconciling the difference between the book and the bank, just like you're reconciling a difference between you and a friend. You're coming to an agreement. You're settling your differences. You're telling each other the secrets. And that's what this is. Admittedly, this is kind of hard to know what goes where. But if you just keep in mind which camp you're looking at, and then you're telling the other camp secrets. That's basically what this is. Does each camp usually have something to add and subtract? They do. The next portion, because now we've prepared our bank reconciliation, now we have to journalize the bank's secrets. Because conceptually, we didn't know about them. We didn't know that that notes pay receivable was going to pay, and we didn't really know that $28 service charge was going to happen. We knew that we deposited and made payments. We knew our secrets, and we've already journalized them. But now we need to journalize the secrets we didn't know and that the bank finally confessed to. Instead of getting to that right away, I'd rather go back to the notes and talk about them. Okay, so to quickly review, this is what we just did. We reconciled the book and the bank, or just like when a friend and you reconcile your differences. You tell each other the secrets, you get it all out there, you come to an agreement. Because right now, the bank and the book will 9 times out of 10 not match. We're looking for the true balance, and that's what we just did. In each camp, we're basically telling the secrets of the other camp to get everyone up to speed with what's going on, okay? As we just talked about, we'll do this again probably twice tomorrow. But what we need to do is add journal entries that the bank has been keeping a secret from us in our own books. There's 4 basic ones. When the bank does the dirty work of getting notes receivable to pay, we know what are they going to do. They're going to get us our money back, any interest that we earn, but what's going to be the deduction there? They're probably going to charge a fee. In our last example, it was $20 for doing all of that work for us. We still get our $700 and what was it, $36 in interest from our example, but they assessed a $20 fee for just doing all that work for us. There might be errors, and I'm going to try to find some problems that have errors in them so we can do those tomorrow. The ones that we've done so far, we haven't. NSF, what does that stand for? Non-sufficient funds. What in the world? You mean to tell me we wrote a bad check? Are they going to have a fee with that? I'd say that, I can't say for sure, but usually it's about a $30 fee on top of paying that check again. And then a whole long list of service charges. So these are all different types of entries that are going to happen. What I'm going to do next is show you the entries. Number 1, they're in your book. Number 2, if you don't feel like writing them down, get your phones out and take pictures. Don't take pictures until they all show up though, okay? Collection of a note receivable. So now you understand that that was probably an AR gone bad. Most times it's an AR that doesn't ever pay us, and so then we're going to say, fine, We'll give you a note receivable in the form of a loan that the bank is going to handle. Assuming interest of $50 has not been accrued and the collection fee is charged to the miscellaneous expense, here's what we're looking at. We get our cash. We get a miscellaneous expense of $15. Where in the world did that come from? Oh, that's the fee. They didn't tell you that though. So it looked like we had a $1,000 loan that we extended to a customer. We earned $50 in interest in that, but why did we only get $1,035 into our account? The fee. Okay, so here, let's mark this up before you take a picture. This was the loan. This was the interest earned. This was the actual cash. And this was the bank fee to handle this. It's kind of annoying because they didn't tell you it's a $1,000 notes receivable, but whatever. What would have been the dirty little secret that the bank was keeping? That all of this, that's the bank secret. And it would show up where? How would we learn about the secret? When what shows up in the mail? Bank statement. Keep in mind, this will be on my recording, but if you want to take a picture of this screen, or if you want to just write it all down, it's all there, okay? This is the hardest journal entry to do. Just go back to what you know, though, about accounting. Your debits need to equal your credits. If we have a $1,000 loan and $50 receivable, we're going to get most of that money, but I have a feeling the bank's going to charge us for handling all of this secret. Second one, an error. You might want to wait to take a picture of this whole thing because we actually are doing two entries right here. Cash disbursements journal, so meaning, I don't even know if we've ever seen the cash disbursements journal before, but whatever, shows that a check number 443 was a payment on account to the Andrea Company, a supplier. The correcting entry would be, okay, I wish that they showed cash, whatever. So we just had an error somewhere. Andrea Company, let's see, a cash disbursements journal shows that a check was a payment on account. So we paid, no. It must be in the book. God. Let me get my book out. They're not giving us enough information here. They don't give us any more information in the book. What in the world? So it looks like we're getting cash back and we go back to owing the Andrea Company money. I don't know what else to tell you there. Hopefully when we do problems like this together tomorrow, they'll make more sense. Seems like there's a lack of information here, so we'll move on. An NSF, so non-sufficient funds. As indicated earlier, an NSF check becomes an accounts receivable to the depositor. So like if we write a bad check, we now owe these people money. We are losing the money, and these people now owe us money. So this is like think of it like a customer. If a customer writes us a bad check, which has non-sufficient funds, if a customer writes us a bad check, do we get the money? No, we actually take a hit. Look at that. That's cash going down. And now this customer owes us money. So that's seen as a cash hit. So that's why businesses charge money. If you write us a bad check, we're going to charge you because now we take the hit in cash and you become an AR. In addition to, we're going to slap a fee on you and your bank is going to slap a fee on you. So this isn't us writing a bad check. This is a customer writing us a bad check. We take a cash hit and they become an AR that owes us. And that's where the banks work really hard to get that money recovered so we don't have that $425.60 hit. Last one, bank service charge. Again, they give us no dollar amounts, but whatever, how weird. If there's a service charge or check printing, you know, let's just say the service charge was $10 and the cost to print checks was $20, we're going to see that as one entry to the miscellaneous expense, and you'll see cash go down. I will get some answers on the errors. They didn't give us enough information in the book. We'll go through errors tomorrow and how you would journalize them. So speaking of journalizing, let's do it. Go back to that problem that you were just working on. What are we journalizing? Down here, what are we journalizing? Back on that page in your workbook. We're journalizing someone's secrets. Whose? The bank's secrets. According to this problem, we had 2. It's exactly what you just saw. April will be done in about 3-4 minutes. It's exactly what you just saw in my little example. The original loan was $700. We earned interest revenue of $36. Why didn't we get $736? Why did we only get $716 in cash? That's what showed up. What's the $20? And why is it called a miscellaneous expense? A bank fee. The bank charged us $20, but it was kind of hidden. It's not like we had like cash come out of $20. They just didn't give us as much cash. Okay. Why was this a secret? Why didn't we know about this? Why wasn't it in our book records? The bank had that happen over the month, and that's what was one of the secrets, and that's what was described to us on our bank statement. Okay, what was the other little secret they were hiding from us? Not that they're hiding, not that they're being like deceitful or sneaky. It's just that it happened in the month, and when they got the bank statement, it showed up on there. What was our other secret that we needed to journalize? Not our secret, the bank secret. What did we subtract out? And what does a service charge show up as when we're journalizing? Miscellaneous expense. So the bank gave us $716 that we didn't know about, and they took out $28 in the form of a service charge. Why are we not journalizing the book secrets? We knew about those.